Hey up there guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. You're with me, the Autistic Biker. Thanks for joining me, thanks for coming back, clicking on this video, thank you, I much appreciate it. So, I've just basically had another business idea, you know, for anyone if they want to, and only if it's possible and realistic for such a thing to actually be created, you know, as in invented, made and being put out there to sell and to buy. Yeah, just had another business idea. So I just thought I'd put it out there so it's in public domain on my YouTube channel for anyone if they want to, you know, latch onto it, make a go at it. And that business idea is this. Right, I'll get started. Let's see what you reckon to this then. So, you know when you've got an action camera, right? Irrelevant, you know what, make, model and all that good stuff. You obviously, of course, can go into your settings on each action camera, can't you? And you can play about with the settings, you know what I mean? Whether if that's like an app on your phone and you control the action camera and change the settings through app on your phone, or whether if you actually do it more of like the old school and more of a direct way, and you just actually press the hardware buttons or touch screen on your actual action camera, and you change the settings on your actual action camera to, well, whatever you want to change your settings to, whatever you want to play about with and have fun with and explore. But this video is not just about you know, any setting. It's about, to be very specific about the actual overall video you know, resolution quality that you can change. So for example, your standard HD, which is your 1080p, then you've got you know, then you've got your 2.7K 1440p. You know, you've got your 4K after that, and then I believe even some action cameras now are all like your 5K, aren't they? You know, 5K, maybe possibly, I don't know, 8K, I don't know. But you know, so what you do is, if you want a more better video resolution, you know, and FPS, frames per second, you go into your app on phone, or you know, you go into the settings on your action camera. Anyway, really going back on track just to get really into it. So what this idea is think of actually, you know, like changing the video, you know, the overall video resolution setting on your action camera, right? You know, for a much more for all point, aim, purpose and intention, for a much more better, like you know, video resolution when you're recording, for that much more better, you know, detail and definition and stuff in everything that you're recording. So yeah, so instead of like doing it the, shall we call it the software style, the software version of it, you know, which is either app on your phone or pressing buttons or touch screen on your action cam, think of this idea as in more of like an actual sort of like more of like an actual piece of physical hardware, actual physical change. So what I mean by that is, as in different lenses. So the same principle as in, you know, like if you've got a DJI Osmo, well, DJI Osmos have got like different lenses you can actually, you can like take off and then put on your actual action camera. So in other words, like swap and change. But it's not for a more better video resolution setting, or, you know, video resolution like image and video quality. It's for like different tones and textures and colours, to give off like a different tone, tone and colours and stuff like that. Well, my point is the same principle applies to do with bringing out lenses only if it's realistic and doable. Bringing out different like video, like video resolution quality lenses that make your recording and obviously your playback, your watch back, a much more better crisp clarity overall, much more better overall like viewing experience. But only you're not doing it, like I said, you're not doing it sort of like through like the software version, if you like, through app on your phone or action camera. It's like changing it in a much more of sort of like a physical hard piece of hardware, if that makes sense. Like taking the same principle as, like I said, the lenses that you can change and swap and put on to do with your DJI Osmo action cameras. So in other words, for example, you will have like a 2.7K lens, you will have a 4K lens, you will have a 5K lens. So giving you an example, an actual sort of like an actual realistic scenario example, putting you in like a hypothetical scenario situation, right? Picture this: you keep an action camera on, let's say for example, let's go with your standard 1080p, so your standard HD, your 1080p. You go around block, you just do 10 minutes around block, right, and you come back to your house, your home. Then what you do is you take that lens off, which is your standard, let's say for example your standard, your standard factory lens that comes in the box for when you buy your action camera, whatever action camera it is that you've bought. So then what you do is you take that standard factory lens off, and what you do is you put on, obviously through like a clip or a twist or a shove, whatever, however it'd go on, but you put on basically a let's say for example your 2.7K lens, if you wanted to go for a 2.7K lens. So what you do is, and then you do the slap bang same route again, you just do roughly 10 minutes of riding, you stick to slap bang same road routes, you go around block, a stone throw away from your house, you come back, and then what you do is, so you've got that very, very close as can be comparison. Then what you do is, say no more, you basically compare you compare the two video footages of you going around your block near your house, for example. That's just like for a rough example. But when you put the 2.7K lens on, or the 4K lens on, or whatever, you name it, you still keep your action camera video resolution setting still actually software wise still on the same setting. So you go out firstly and you record your scene, right, where your action camera's on a 1080p, so a standard HD, but also with a normal typical standard factory lens that it comes with. But then when you go out and you do your ride the second time, you still keep the settings on your action camera still on your standard HD, your 1080p, but you put, like for example, a more better, like ultra high polished, or whatever lens on, your 2.7K lens or your 4K lens or whatever. And basically that's the gist of it, that's the moral of the story, to sum it up in a nutshell. I do really hope that you get my, like you can really grasp and see my vision, what I'm seeing literally, like image wise and video wise in my head. I hope that you can still see and share that same image that I'm still trying my best to explain, but only through words. So yeah, because I'm saying that because I have tried my own best to my own capability best to explain it the best that I can, to do with just, well, that I can really. I've explained it the best that I can. I hope that you really do, you know, you can make, you guys can make clear sense of that. Like the words that I'm trying to say, that you get that you do get the sort of like that image. If not, there's no I can do about that, with all due respect, because I can't explain it any more, like, you know, shall we say, yeah, clearer than what I already have done. Do you know what I mean? So I just really can't. I've tried my best. Anyway, guys, I am going to leave it there. I have been as short and as, you know, straight to the point and as direct as I can. Yeah, very short one considering me. So yeah, remember, if you are riding, ride safe. Thanks so very much for you know, tuning in to click on this to hear what I've got to say and stuff, and I do appreciate that. So yeah, if you are riding, ride safe. Watch out for them other idiots that they're on road. Okay guys, so until then, I will catch you at next one. So I'll see you later guys. Ta-ra, see ya, bye bye, thanks, bye.